Many of us take our singing for granted. We open our mouths and for the most part enjoy the physical sensations we receive from our singing. Sadly though, this is not always the case. For some singers, the process of singing has become a nightmare of tension and vocal strangulation, and so today we're going to talk about muscle tension dysphonia.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Hello everyone, Dr. Dan here with another video designed to develop your voice and improve your sound. And today's topic comes to us care of Ayan Sayer, who writes, "Doctor, do you have any lessons for muscle tension? May be a little dysphonic, but there is an extreme tension most of the time in the vocal box and around the neck. Voice tremors a lot and have to apply effort for proper cord closure during singing and talking. Bad singing habits developed it, and by the way, there is no physical damage." Now, Ayan left his comment on my video, how to avoid vocal fold constriction. And when I queried Ayan further about his question, it became apparent that he may be suffering from a condition known as muscle tension dysphonia, or MTD for short. MTD is an extreme case of constriction, both inside and outside the larynx. It differs from garden variety vocal fold constriction because the muscles are generally constricting in an involuntary manner, even though the voice user is doing all they can not to activate any extreme muscle response. And this condition may be very frustrating and upsetting because it leads to high levels of vocal fatigue along with a high sense of vocal discomfort. MTD will often leave the voice sounding hoarse and feeling dry. The reason for this is the imbalance in the muscle activity in relation to the sound making task. When a person is suffering from MTD, their vocal folds overexert and tire quickly. The tired voice then calls upon other muscles, either intrinsic or extrinsic, to lend a hand in the sound making. And the snowball effect, everything just gets tighter and tighter and tighter, until, in the severe cases, the voice user can feel like they are being strangled each and every time they speak or sing.
Sound check.
Now, before we go any further, I want to state very clearly that I cannot and I will not diagnose your vocal condition here on YouTube. In the case of Ayan, whose question we're bouncing off today, I queried him at length after he had been to an ears, nose and throat doctor for a consultation. Ayan did everything in the right order. MTD can only be diagnosed by an ENT and is typically then treated by a speech therapist. Now, it's important to see the ENT first because sometimes muscle tension dysphonia can be masking a more significant concern such as acid reflux or a vocal pathology like a vocal fold cyst. The only way to rule these possible issues out is to look inside the larynx, and the only professional who can do that is your friendly ears, nose and throat doctor. So without seeking to diagnose your current vocal condition, allow me to provide a list of helpful tips that might help to alleviate extreme vocal fold constriction, along with a vocal exercise that should help to relieve intrinsic laryngeal tension.
Sound check.
Well, quite clearly, given that muscle tension dysphonia and its weaker sibling, vocal fold constriction, are both triggered by heavy, extreme activation of the laryngeal muscles, the first thing we're going to avoid at all costs is yelling and screaming. Loud phonation is a big no-no for people who struggle with MTD. And I'm not just talking about parents ranting in an irate manner at their kids. Loud talking can also occur in loud environments like clubs and pubs where the general audio level is high. So the first tip is to reduce your vocal loads by always talking and singing in a comfortable volume range. Interestingly, people who suffer from severe constriction should also avoid whispering. Teaches the muscles to activate in a poor manner, and when you whisper, the vocal folds don't quite adduct or come together in a balanced way. Not good for a voice that needs to learn good muscular balance. And the third tip is to eliminate any habitual throat clearing. That conscious little cough that many of us have at the end of our sentences is really very abrasive to the vocal folds, and again brings the folds together in an abrupt, aggressive manner. The fourth tip, before I give you an exercise to help alleviate vocal fold constriction, is to always supply the larynx with an even, consistent breath stream. Sometimes we can find ourselves finishing spoken sentences or sung phrases on the final vapor of air. This causes the larynx to ration the remaining air supply by, you guessed it, constricting. So make sure you have a solid breath management strategy in place. Now, to the fun stuff, the exercise.
Sound check.
The exercise we're going to do today is based on the work of both Joe Estelle and Janice Chapman. It combines Chapman's pre-yawn exercise with Estelle's suppressed laugh. Now be sure to do this activity standing up and pay attention to your alignment. We don't want any toy soldiers, but equally we don't want any slouching either. Now place your thumb and your index finger either side of your thyroid cartilage and take an even, comfortable breath. Now, as you go to exhale, pretend you've just heard the funniest joke, but you're in a library with strict rules about any loud noise. Now, using an E shape, commence your exhale over a suppressed laugh. When this exercise is done well, your larynx should drop a little and your throat should feel quite open and free. Be sure to repeat this 2 to 3 times each day. The exercise is teaching the laryngeal muscles to remain free from tension. As always, I'll be keen to hear how you go with the exercise. Perhaps you've struggled with muscle tension dysphonia. We'd all love to hear your story and how you've worked, or you're continuing to work through it. Perhaps you've got a great exercise and you can share it with all of us. I know Ian and I will both be keen to read your comments. Before we close, I do want to stress once again that if you think that your voice is struggling with constriction or muscle tension dysphonia, both when you talk and when you sing, or when you do either of those things, you should seek the advice of an ENT who will be able to diagnose your condition properly. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please be sure to leave me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel if learning to sing is your thing. Every week I upload a new video that is designed to develop your voice and improve your sound, and I'd love for you to join our Voice Essentials community right here on YouTube. But until next time, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.